Man, can you believe 4 days left of hell? 4 days left of hell. How y'all are? Welcome, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 4 days of Obama hell, lies, the press protecting him, gone, wiped out, 12 noon. Actually, 11 o'clock our time on Friday when this program ends. We will have a new president of the United States. Anything but what we had. It's just sending to shame, but we've had this. But hopefully and prayerfully, our country will become a tough country again. And by the way, Brandon, I didn't get with you before the program, but I do have a piece on Rand Paul, what he wants to do with Obamacare, because Trump's saying they already got the thing in place. But anyway, we'll play it and I'll show you, it's on Fox News. We'll play it and I'll show y'all some of the things they want to do. People like me who want to pay their way, they will put us back in play and let me go get the best insurance plan for me and my family by putting a lot of people that are independent businesses together. Let us pool it together and then allow us to go buy insurance on the open market so we can get our premiums that are reasonable, not the $32,000 I'm paying now, but something reasonable so I can stay in the game. You know, everybody talking about all these people that are going to be lose their insurance, man. What about us small business owners? I mean, God, are people trying to pull their weight? I just worry about the person not pulling their weight. Anyway, 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline if you'd like to be part of the program. Donald Trump, president-elect, to be sworn in this Friday at 11 o'clock Central, 12 Eastern for you people in Balkanville. They're an hour ahead of us. When they're 12 o'clock, we're at 11, but that's okay. We'll get that to you. We'll let you know what's going on. Don't worry about it. Budget holes, problem. Somebody compared John Lewis, his pastor, with an NAACP, compared John Lewis to Jesus. And by the way, Trump's been popping the civil rights leader, and the press is coming to his rescue. How, it's such a great man. Look. Brandon, he was a civil rights leader. He was beat up. He was thrown in jail. Hey, I admire all that stuff, but you can nut up later in life too. You can nut up and be un-American and later in life, no matter what you've done early in life. It's just crazy. But there's a new party in Louisiana, which I'm really concerned about, and I want you people that don't want to be Republican Democrats to listen to me. We'll get to that a little bit. Senator Troy. By the way, let me start with this. A lot of national stuff. And by the way, Bananas Foster is back, Brandon. Bananas Foster's bill, the all processing tax, is back, this time to be pushed by a Republican. The all processing tax. That's right. Kenny Havert of St. Francisville preparing a bill that would impose a $1.5 billion hydrocarbon processing tax on Louisiana's refineries. Bananas Foster lives through a Republican Havert. Bananas. You can't make this up, folks. And Jerry Brown, the governor of California, only wants a 42-cent gas tax hike. I mean, the liberals and the left nutting up everywhere. Colleges all over the country are now going to teach anti-Trumpism. I'm not making that up either. So the nutting up will continue in the United States of America. We're going to watch more nutting up and craziness going on. And so we'll get to all that as a program on, folks. All righty, Senator Troy Brown apologizes after his second domestic abuse case, but won't be expelled from Senate quietly. Now, it's funny, Brandon, I heard you even say this, which made a good point. Troy Brown says, I will do whatever the Senate says.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, John Alario runs the Senate. So if nothing happens to Troy Brown, lay it on Alario. Remember, he's the dean. He's the grown-up in the room. And I bet Alario don't do a dang thing. He ain't got to.
So are you saying he's the magician that can't make Troy Brown disappear?
Exactly. He's a great magician. If he could, Brown would disappear today. But he's not going to disappear. The magician can't get rid of it. The grown-up in the room can't tell a little kid to go home. Okay? What else was he? The Michael Jordan of the legislature. He can't slam dunk him. Where's the magician? Where's the Michael Jordan? Where's the grown-up in the room? Troy Brown, two times he's abused his wife. So he tells people, he says, and by the way, even the advocate, who can't get nothing right anymore, the advocate is saying they need to throw him out. Okay. Troy Brown says he would do whatever the Senate tell him. As Brandon, you said earlier today, but if you throw me out, I'm going to fight you. So I'm going to say, all right, Brandon, you do whatever you want me to do. I'll do it, but I'm going to fight you. No, then you're not going to do whatever we want you to do. The best thing Brown could do would be to resign. But he lives in the area. His constituents probably don't even know this. And they're not going to throw him out. If John Alario, the magician, can't get rid of him, he's not going anywhere, folks. And I predict John Alario don't do it. John Alario ain't done anything yet to help them state. The only way John Alario would get rid of Troy Brown, Senator Troy Brown, is if it benefits John Alario. That's the only way he gets rid of him. If it doesn't benefit John Alario and his family, he doesn't get rid of him. Forget the state. John Alario is not going to benefit the state. Hell, he ain't done that in 46 years. When is that going to start? It's not. So Senator Troy Brown, domestic abuse. Brandon, we've seen people lose their football careers on domestic abuse. We've seen people lose their all kind of careers. Not old Senator Troy Brown. And this is not his first time. This is the second time. Yes, sir.
I mean, this is the quote right here that stood out to me out of the whole text, all right? The whole text of Senator Brown's response, all right? I am realistic, of course, and if the body decides on expulsion, I will respect their wishes, but I will utilize all legal options available to me to protect my constituents' rights to be represented.
Yeah.
Man of the people.
Yeah. I'm the only one can represent these people. You know, they can't be anybody else in that district. But, Brandon, here's where the community, if they're really sincere, they'll get rid of him. They'll go after him, not physically, but politically, and get rid of him. The problem is, Brandon, I'm making a prediction on Senator Troy Brown. Hadn't seen it yet. I'm making a prediction that some kind of way racism will come into this. Him them wanting him out. Watch. I'm just making a prediction. He will bring up racism, some kind of way. He'll say, Lario ain't going to do it. Whoever's going to do this is just being racist. And that may be why they don't get rid of him, because nobody in the state, especially the Republican John Alario, wants to be called a racist. And I make a prediction. Brandon, I'm asking you as a news guy, and you get to read and look at a lot of stuff. If you find that, please send that to me. I may read it. You may read it. It's coming.
Oh, about racist? Okay,
if Senator Brown is to be, anybody steps up and said Brown needs to go, it's going to be called racism. I look for the advocate to be called the racist first, because they want to get rid of a guy, domestic abuse. They got him both times, and yet Brown's going to fight to stay in. Hey, he may win, because, John Alario is not going to move that guy. When has John Alario done anything to help the state that didn't benefit him, his family, and his buddies first? Can anybody name one? No, you can't. So there's Senator Troy Brown out of the Baton Rouge area. And I will say this for the advocate, who really has turned to a leftist organization. At least they came out and said he needs to quit. He needs to go. But you think Alario and them are going to do it? Go read the quotes. Alario and them are not moving on this. I'll do whatever constituents want him to do. Well, his constituents may not even know that he's done what he's done. They may not even know it.
Did you listen to the 911 tape?
Yeah, I did. And just that is pretty annoying. Actually, I think you played some of it for me.
Yeah. There's a bunch of cursing in it, so we couldn't play it on the air. But
no, I wouldn't play that on there either. I heard the cursing. Mm-hmm. It's we'll see what happens with all that, Brandon. It's a will. All right. Now,
I will say this, Moon. I hope that he is sincerely sorry for what he done, because that's what he says. He's sincerely sorry for it, and in his statement, he said, I close with a sincere apology to my wife, my family, my constituents, the governor, as well as my fellow senators. Ours is a generous God, and I ask him for the blessing of forgiveness. I hope that he means that, and that's not just some ploy to stay in. But I hope he means.
You know what
that.
I wish you could do? Go find out the first time they busted him a while back. Did he say the same thing? Yeah. That would be interesting to see. Did he say the same thing?
Well, were people calling for him to resign after the first time it happened? Because I don't.
Oh yeah, they called for it. They did, but he nothing happened. Yeah. Somebody said Karen Carter Peterson will come strong with the race car. Oh, it's coming. Oh, I just think it's coming. That's why you don't want to see a John Alaria who takes a stands for nothing except for himself. His greed and his selfishness has got our state in a position it's in. So anyway, all right, we're going to take a break. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. A lot to cover today, folks, national and state. Donald Trump to be sworn in on Friday, 11 o'clock our time, 12 noon Eastern time. New president of the United States. Can we say thank you, Lord? All right, we'll take a break. Be right back. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline if you'd like to be part of the program. Your opportunity to be a voice. Let's go to Ron in Pineville. Ron, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, Moon. I'm the blind man who called you the other day.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yes, sir.
I talked to two people that come on this station before you do, and they're both Democrats. And I was telling them how upset I am about, number one, Obama closing Guantanamo and turning those people loose back into the Arab countries where they can be terrorists. And number two, they said, well, why don't you like Hillary? I said, because of Benghazi, because of the Iran treaty, because they betrayed Israel. And well, how did they betray Israel? I said, hey, he said, the Palestinians have as much right to live there as the Israelis do. No, they don't. God promised that country to Israel. Go back and read Genesis.
Well, I mean, everybody has a right to their opinion, you know. I mean,
of course they do. But,
everybody does.
But they were putting me down, saying I was wandering all over the place.
Well, once again, we don't, Ron, I'm gonna let you go. We don't comment on other people's shows that's on our stations. I mean, I just don't. I just made that a habit. Even if one of them hits me, you gotta let all that go. So, I mean, that's something you gotta deal with. And, everybody has an opinion, and facts are facts though, Ron. I agree with that, but, everybody has an opinion. I just don't like comment on other local programs. It's not my job to do that. I'm thankful I'm on the station, so we just let it go at that. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Now, folks, I want y'all to be careful of something. And I know one of the guys is starting a party, and I like him. He's a friend of mine. I consider him, Pat Bergeron. There's a new party in Louisiana called the Independent Party. And I'm independent, but I'm actually a no-party person. And I think it's – and Pat and him's welcome to come on the program, and I don't trust – what's taking place. I think it's disingenuous. What's happening is you hear a lot of people say, Brandon, me and you've always said, well, I'm independent. I'm independent. We say that all the time.
Right.
So there are people out there with this mindset that when you say you're independent, you're in the independent party. I'm not in the independent party. I'm not going to be the independent party, and I better not be placed in the independent party by the registrar's office. And I don't think I will. When I read it, that's not what's going on. But what's happened is Pat Bergeron, who is a party chairman. Him and another guy, Bill Bryant, who, by the way, was a Louisiana press secretary in '96 for Clinton Gore, have started the Independent Party. Okay? Now we got the Republican Party, Democrat Party, and we got all kind of stuff. But now they're actually starting the Independent Party, according to this article, is now a recognized party in Louisiana, according to the Secretary of State spokeswoman, Meg Casper. So now there is an independent party. Now, I know Pat's a moderate Republican, and then this Bill Bryant's probably a liberal Democrat. So I'm just be careful, because I know we talk a lot about being independent, but I am not in the independent party, and I'm not going to be in the independent party. They're trying to take advantage of it, because here's what's happening and will happen. According to this report, there are 56,000 people. There's 56,000 people who have already in the independent party. As a result, there are currently 56,000 independent party voters on the roll. Even if those same voters believe independence would mean no party. Casper said voters are now registered as independents, but who do not want to be part of a recognized party can change their registration to no party at govote.com. So they started an independent party. And like I said, I like Pat Bergeron, worked with him in the past. I don't know the Bill Bryant. Bill Bryant looks like he's a leftist. and Pat's more of a moderate Republican. So they started an independent party in the state of Louisiana. I personally want no part of it. I'm not telling you not to be a part of it, but if you said I don't want to be in a party, and you go there and you tell a register of voters that, yeah, I want to register independent, they're going to give you a card and you're going to check off independent party. And that may not be where you want to be. And according to this, and this is Secretary of State's coming out of her mouth, not mine, there's 56,000 independent party voters on the roll now. Because I think what's happening is, okay, I think what's happening is people are going and said, I want to be independent. And you think there's an independent party. Well, guess what? There is one now. But you don't even know what it stands for. You don't know what they stand for. They're not Democrat. They're not Republican. Well, what? It's going to be the moderate party, I think. I think it's going to be the party of in between. And that's a party of nothing. So I'm an independent voter. And I'm not the Republican Party because I just can't stand the generals of the world getting these parties and they fake. That was I had a reason to leave the party. Not saying I never will go back. I just don't know. But I will not be on it. And I'm going to check on this, Brandon, because I hadn't checked enough. I'm telling you right now, if my name's on the independent party, I'm getting it off of that thing. And you people that are registered on the independent party, better go check your registration and make dang sure it ought to say no party. Because if you're in the independent party, you don't even know what they stand for. They don't stand for Democrat or Republican. A no party person like myself, I've had enough of the parties. Now that's my choice. By the way, I vote in every election but one, the presidential caucus or presidential primaries for the Republican Party. I can't vote. The only vote I can't vote. The only time an election comes up that I can't vote is in that. So I don't like the idea of this because I think this is deceptive. And if there's 56,000 people on the roll already, I guarantee you 55,800 of them don't know they registered as to be in an independent party now, just like a Republican Party or the Green Party or the Democrat Party. If you're in an independent party, then you represent them. And Pat, I think what y'all doing is a disservice, but you do it if you want to. I'm not in an independent party, and Brandon, we got to go check our voter registration. I got to go change my address on mine anyway, so I'm going to do it. When I do it, I'm going to make dang sure I'm no party. We'll be back. Oh, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline if you'd like to be part of the Moon Griffon Show. By the way, this party, I'm glad Brandon's already checked his. He's still no party. Brandon, according to the article, this thing went into effect on December 22nd. Okay? According to the Secretary of State's office, paperwork for Louisiana Independent Party received Secretary of State's office December 22nd. Pat Bergeron's already the chairman, and party treasurer Bill Bryant. So they forming the party. They the bosses of the party. And according to this, 56, I guess, Brandon, since then, a lot of people have changed the independent, I guess. I don't know. As a result, there are currently 56,000 independent party voters. They said there's enough independent voters already registered to meet the 1,000 vote requirement. 56,000 independent party voters on the roll. Even if those same voters believe independent would mean no party. Casper said voters who are now registered as independent who do not want to be party of recognized party can change their registration. And I'm telling you, if you went to you got to listen to me. If you've gone to the Secretary of State's office and you decided to go independent, I heard a lot of people say that. We've used independent so much. People think I'm a member of the independent party, and I'm not. I'm no party. Independent means no party. You don't have a party. Now in the state of Louisiana, Bergeron and Bryant have came up with a way to catch a lot of people, and the average person may go do that and never think about it. You're going to start getting stuff in the mail. Would you like to contribute? Because trust me, it's going to take money. There's no platform. See, I'm not a member of a party, so there's no platform. Nobody's leading me. But in an independent party, we already know Pat Bergeron and Bryant they leading the charge. Where the hell are they going? I mean, if I'm going to follow somebody, where are you going? Think about it. Hey, Brandon, come with me. Where you going? I'll tell you about it later. Just follow me. Boy, you're really bright. You don't know what the thing's going to stand for. Because if it's a party, It's going to stand for something. I mean, it may not be the right thing. It may be all the wrong stuff. And I think the party's going to be a party of moderates. We're very moderate in our way of thinking. Oh, good for you. Don't know where the heck you at. Stand in the middle of the road and get run over. You know, that's really good. So the bottom line is, I'm just letting you know, if you registered as an independent party person, okay, you're in a party. If you did what I did and Brandon did, then I'm not in a party. And Brandon checked this. His thing still says no party. But people that they hear this, I'm independent. All of a sudden people say, well, it must be an independent party. And when you go to register, you're going to register in an independent party, the party to nowhere. They're going to the left. They're going to the right. They're going down the middle. They're jumping off the cliff. They're swimming in Mississippi. What do they stand for? They right to life. They right to death. Which one? They like Trump. They like Obama. What do they stand for? They believe in man-made global warming? I don't know. Whoever believes in that's kind of cuckoo anyway. So what do they stand for? And it stands for nothing. It stands against the other two parties. And I'm not, listen, if you want to be, and you got to feel like you got to belong to some party to be counted, go right ahead. The first thing you're going to do is get a letter saying you're a member of the independent party, and if you give $5 or $10, help us build the party, are you going to ask her what the party stands for? You don't join a party not knowing what it stands for. There's reason people are in the Republican Party, and there are reasons people are in the Democrat Party. And there are reasons I don't want to be in one anymore. Okay, I'm not into the politics of the parties. You vote Republican all the time? Yeah, a lot of times. But if you're in the independent party and somebody's in it, let me do this. If you're in the independent party and you're proud of it, would you please tell me what you're proud of? I mean, what does it stand for? Does it stand running around chasing your tail? What does it stand for? I'm talking about the new independent party. You know, we know what the Green Party stands for, man-made global warming. By the way, did I tell y'all Donald Trump will be the president by 11 o'clock our time Friday? If I didn't, I apologize. I want to make sure I say it and say it a lot. Let's go to Steve in Lafayette. Steve, how you doing, sir?
Well, I'm doing good. Boone, I'm a little disturbed about this independent party thing, because independent to me meant that I was not affiliated with any of the groups. You know, it'd be like joining the KKK and not knowing what it meant.
Yep, good point.
Now they've done stuck us into a party here that we don't even know what they stand for. I'm with you there.
No, but think about it. When you're independent, it just means you're not in a party. They've actually formed a party. And Steve, I think it's very deceiving to have that on there, because the average person will think they're going to be independent, but they're going to actually be joining a party. People do think there's an independent party out there. There's one now, but what does it stand for? And it doesn't stand for anything. I mean, I don't know what direction they're going. Good point. You join a group, it's the KKK, and you say, well, I didn't know that's what they were. Well, how dumb is that?
I think that's where they got all this. That's where they got all these members. Is they just went in and co-opted a bunch of people that consider themselves. And I'm still registered Republican. My wife is registered independent. I promise you, we're going to find out. But I bet you they switched her into.
No. What I'm hearing, what I'm reading from the Secretary of State's office, is what they're saying is people. There have been people, and now that it's a confirmed party, they had to get 1,000 people in there, and they easily did that. People have actually went in and said, think about it. I'm at the registered voters office, and I walk in and I go, hey, I want to change my party affiliation. Okay, you got to fill out this card, and it'll tell you what to change. So people are going through Republican, Democrat, Independent. Oh, Independent. It says Independent Party, and they check it off. They don't even know what they're checking. They think they're independents like you and me. So it's not going to be people that are just registered independent already. It's people that are going in saying, I want to change the party. I want to be an independent. They kind of doing it to themselves and not realizing. I want people to realize that if you pull up your registration and it says you are an independent party, and Brandon, let me hold up. Bring Brandon here. Okay, you pulled it up, and what did it say?
It said no party.
No party. Okay, yeah. Brandon's just like me, just a resident independent, correct?
Right.
Okay. So
I'm a no party person,
okay.
not an
Brandon,
independent by this standard.
Pull up the Secretary of State's deal and see if they got it registered there. So what's happening, Steve, basically, is people are not paying attention to what they're doing. I'm independent, and they think that's a party. They go to an independent party, and that's the deceptive part of what Bergeron and them are doing. And by the way, I'm not cutting Pat. I like Pat. I know Pat personally, but to me, that's what this is about. They have no. I mean, what is the framework of the independent party? What do they stand for? You know, I don't know.
Well, I agree with that, too. I would like to see the Democrat Party put out a platform. This is what we stand for. They change it every year. They're pretty deceptive about, and then they don't back up what they say they're going to do. They say they stand for something, but what does that mean? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what, Republican Party stands for altogether. Some of the things that, but anyway, it's pretty disturbing. I think there's a deception going on. The problem is you can't vote if you're registered Democrat many times, or Republican or Independent. You can't vote in some of the local primary elections. There's something wrong with that system too. But they rigged the system to fit their agenda.
Yeah, well, I know this. I know this just by talking to people. I'm going to independent party. I'm going in, and you tell them it's not a party. So the perception is independent is independent party. And I think Pat and Bill Brown are playing off of that. And so if it is, then are they going to tell people what the party stands for? I think what people need to realize, if you're going to be independent, you want to be in no party. And people better check their deal out. If they've registered since the first of the year, they better go check and see what they got. They may not be happy. We got to take a break. Thanks, Steve. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. Take a break. Be right back.
Get down the stairs. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Yes, I'm stuck in the middle with you. And I'm wondering what it is I should do.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. 844-766. 6607, Hickson has a hotline. New Independence Party out there for you folks. Unbelievable. By the way, we'll get to it. A new man, a Republican. Now he's the new Bananas Foster. We got him, folks. His name is Representative Kenny Havard, Republican of St. Francisville. He said he's going to do the transportation funding with no gas tax. He says preparing a bill that would impose a $1.5 billion hydrocarbon processing tax on Louisiana's 17 refineries. So, in other words, Bananas Foster number 2, right around the corner. We're going to call him Banana Nuts. Banana Nuts, Kenny Havard, is now Bananas Foster's best buddy, and now he wants to run the oil and gas industry totally out of here. Chris John, by the way, got beat by David Vitter, president of the influential Mid-Continental Oil and Gas Association, said Friday's group has multiple conversations with Havard about his idea. Former U.S. Congress plans has constitutional problems, would unfairly single out 17 refineries to address statewide problems, and would put refineries here at a disadvantage with those in Texas and elsewhere. It's a non-starter. By the way, no other state has such a tax for a lot of reasons. They're unconstitutional, not legal, according to Mr. John. Then they go on to say, this has been tried. Public Service Commissioner Bananas Foster made a $5.5 billion processing tax plan on oil and natural gas, a centerpiece of his 2007 bid for governor. By the way, he also believes we have man-made global warming. He said that, Brandon. He said it, man. We got it. We got it, baby. We got man-made global warming. I guess Havard, Representative Kenny Havard, will be talking about man-made global warming now. Now we got Bananas Foster. Now we got Banana Nuts. You know, banana pudding, because this is a soft plan. Let's go to Shoepick. How you doing, Shoepick?
Hey, I'm not nuts, but getting back to that independent deal, on my registration, I changed mine. It says other.
Yeah. And by the way, when did you change it?
I think it was a couple of years ago when I moved here to Farmerville.
Okay, now, we're not talking about you, but according to this, and it's a little guessing in here on my part. They're saying there's 56,000 people already registered as independent, that tells me that a lot of people changed their registration since the first of the year, if it's that many. And maybe it was supposed to say 5,000 to 6,000, but it said, Brian, let me give you this, and you check it out to make sure you get the 56,000. I'm reading that right. Okay, I think it may be on the second page. But anyway, no, you probably fine, because really in independents, it's like 600,000 plus independents that are registered already. So what I'm telling you, they plan on, and I wish Pat wouldn't do this. People go out there, and I'm one of them, go, yeah, I'm independent. Yeah, I'm independent. Yeah, I'm independent. Well, people go, I'm going to register an independent party. No, there's not a party. There's no party. Now there's a party. Don't know what it stands for. Don't have a clue what it means. And you still can be like you and me, still in no party. So apparently there's some people that have registered that said, I want to be in the independent party, not really thinking. I'm going to guess 90% of them were not really thinking.
Well, like you said, they could take your name and just stick it on there and give you all kind of solicitations in your mail and stuff, and you don't know what it stands for, like you said.
Yeah, well, I think about it, though. You're registering in a party, you don't have a clue who's running it. Now we know. And you don't have a clue what it stands for. Who wants to be in a party like, well, I ought to not say that. Democrats are registered in the Democrat Party, and they don't have a clue who they stand for, so.
Well, that's better than being in a banana nut party anyway. Well, thanks anyway.
All right, thanks. Appreciate the call.
It's 56,000.
Is that what the Secretary of State's done? That's the, not Secretary, the registered deal. That's what they said. I didn't say that. That's what they're, well, Brandon, where did it get to 56,000? Had to be people lately wanting to change out of the party.
Well, I mean, they've talked about since 2007, the Democrats have lost 191,000 voters. Republicans picked up 201,000 new voters during the same time frame, and other party registrations were trailing right behind with an increase of 156,000. That's since 2007.
Yeah, and that's when they say other parties, they mean no party, Reform Party, Green, whatever's on the ballot.
Yeah.
All right, I thought I was right. Lorenzo, our friend from Leesville. Lorenzo, Happy New Year, sir.
Yes, sir. Happy New Year to you, Mr. Bone.
Thank you, Lorenzo.
I was just listening at your program. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I was listening at your program and about some different parties and stuff, but I think you ought to just go ahead and start the moon party. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, let me tell you something. If I start the moon party, at least I'm going to have something written down what we stand for.
Now we gonna party hardy, huh?
That's right. The moon party would be, we'll be going around the state having parties for people to come by and having fun. How about that?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So you go be a Moonie? You gonna be a Moonie? That's what you're telling me?
Yes, sir. But like you said, though, that independent party now, on the real, that guy, Bernie Sanders. Now he was an independent, but then he go jump and be a Democrat. You know, and that's what I don't like. Now, if you're going to be a Democrat or Republican, then you get elected, so you get elected as a Democrat or a Republican.
Okay.
And once you get in there, you change to something else.
Yep.
I know you probably have seen them do that.
Oh, a lot of times. Yeah. Let me ask you a question. And let's talk about that a second. I understand what you're saying. The only reason you got elected is because you were in the certain party, okay? And then all of a sudden you changed parties, and the question is, would you have gotten elected had you been in another party? I guess that's it. Now all of a sudden you with the other party, and that is a problem with some people, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think that's right. You know, like if the people that what party was in, all got together and helped you win in that party, and then you switch over. That's called a traitor or something like that.
Well, let me ask you a question. What if a guy changes from Democrat, Republican to Democrat, or just say stays the same? Okay, let's just say he stays the same, but he starts voting with the other party. You don't have a problem with that, do you? I mean, you're a Democrat or Republican. Let's say you're a Republican. You get elected on all these conservative principles, quote, that you ran on, and you're voting Democrat.
I
I see what you're saying, but that's got a lot to do with what they vote on. But I'm like this. I don't just vote for the
party,
the whole party line. I think once they get elected, they should be able to vote their conscience or whatever, how they feel.
But you don't think they ought to be able to change the parties?
No, I don't think. If they do that, they should have to give up their seat.
Yeah.
They should have to give up.
Boy, I tell you what, you talk
that.
about Lorenzo blow the politicians out the water. You get elected. I remember when Rodney Alexander.
If it's a moon party, it's gonna be a good party.
Maybe we ought to come up with a food party and put them all in there.
Yeah, man.
All right, Lorenzo, thanks for the call, but no moon party that I know of. But if somebody starts one, I am not a member of it. I'm just letting you know. Can you imagine, though, Brandon? You go in and you hear about being independent, and you go and you look at your registration, not paying attention, and you go down a list, say Republican, Democrat, Reform, Green, Independent Party, no party. And you're so used to people, including myself, saying independent. And so you check off independent party. And so what I want to know, if somebody's done that, check your registration and see if you're on an independent party. Is that really what you meant? Because if somebody would call and let me know, I would see the deception being played out as I think it will be. Gerald in Blanchard, Louisiana. How you doing, Gerald?
I'm doing good, brother. I got a question for you. I need an opinion.
All right.
I need the moon opinion.
Hey, you come to the right place.
Well, I figured I did. My question is, being you're omnipotent and you got all this great wisdom about you.
Thank you.
That when you become an elected official, your opinion no longer matters. Your intelligence no longer matters. You should vote the way your constituents think and want.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Is that correct?
That's what most people think. They think you ran on a certain way. They elected you for what you believe, which is supposed to be how the constituents believe, and you're going to vote that way.
Well, that's how I believe it.
But let me ask you. But if a guy goes on for less taxes and less government, all he does is increase taxes and the size of government. That's the guy you need to vote out. That's the guy we need to vote out.
Yeah, all right. I don't need him.
Yeah. All right, brother, got to go. We got to take a break. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. When we get back, a lot more to come. We got another Bananas Foster, and he's a Republican. He's from St. Francisville. We'll be back.